Mark praised the team overall in terms of the preparation, the way that you guys approached shoot-around this morning, and then highlighted you in particular in terms of the leadership, the energy that you brought to the entire day today. Um, was there anything intentional in that, or did you feel like you brought a normal, kind of your normal level?
Yeah, most definitely. I was intentional for sure. Two things, like coming out of like a tournament, like like we're in the finals of something, and then we have to turn around and play game 26 of the NBA season. It's a little bit odd. And I wanted to bring like a juice. I wanted to show the team that like, all right, it's almost like back to reality. Back to like what matters, what we're our end goal is, and then our schedule, like going from 3 hours back time zone, flying 4 hours, like taking off at 10 and landing at 5 in another city, and turning around and playing is a little bit like that'll never happen in NBA season. You know what I mean? And I wanted to like own that, not use it as an excuse, and bring energy, bring pop today, because the rest of the league does not care what our schedule was. Orlando was going to try to beat the brakes off us no matter what. And yeah, I think we not just myself, we did a good job of that in the morning as well. First half of the game, obviously the second half could have been a lot better, but we'll take a W.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of that, you anticipated what maybe some of the traps could be for the team, but it seemed like in that second half, yes, they went on that run, but it almost seemed like you guys were prepared for that in some way and were able to kind of catch it before it spilled over too much. What did you notice from the team in terms of being able to handle that, knowing they were so well rested and were going to, bring some fight in that second half?
Yeah, they we just did whatever it took. Every night's gonna look different, obviously, and we did enough tonight, but we did what was needed and stayed in the moment. It's the most important thing. You never know what's gonna happen in the future. You can't control the past, but you can stay in the moment and control what you can control. And I think we did that for the most part tonight.
Shai, Doug obviously had some quarrels with the officiating tonight. He was arguing with them after the final buzzer, and Mark was doing the same, and he was pretty adamant in here after the game about like ongoing conversation about those. What's up? I mean, you've come to a point where you've learned to get calls and manipulate defensive stuff. I guess what are you telling him as your younger teammate in terms of what he's going through right now?
What do I tell them? Like, play through it for sure. I tell them to not anticipate contact. Like, just play, and you get fouled, you'll get fouled. But ultimately, like, you can't control the refs. Never can. Like, some nights I'm going to shoot 15 free throws, and some nights I'm going to shoot 2. And I drive the same amount every night, you know what I mean? So, like, you can't control the refs. And at the end of the day, you have to just control what you can control out there and not worry about that. Now, there's tricks and stuff you can use to work on to bait the defense, like you said, into foul calls. But, yeah, at the end of the day, just have fun hooping and be aggressive, and everything else will fall into play.
You mentioned something not to anticipate contact. Do you think that's something he's doing right now? You feel like that's something that's maybe holding him back?
No, I think he's doing a great job of just like playing through contact. And honestly, sometimes he's very strong for a guard. And what is a foul for me is not a foul for him, because I shoot a ball and I get nicked on my arm and I'm a little bit weaker and the ball slips and it's foul. You know what I mean? For him, he'd be able to play through that. So yeah, it's a little bit different for everyone. There's like marginal contact, and it's literally marginal. Depends on the player. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so many things that go into it, and officiating is really hard. So like that's why I just try to like keep them like in the moment on the court, just like play through it, go out there, be aggressive, have fun. Like the calls will come. If you stay at it, they'll eventually come. Now, the only way you don't get calls is if you stop driving, you stop being aggressive. So that's the last option I give him. Like make sure he's always downhill. He's always at the defense.
Shai, something that I respect a lot from you is that you always give credit to the entire squad, no matter what. So, what is the reason of your leadership for this group playing at this high level?
Yeah. I've been able to grow as a player. I've been able to grow as a leader. And I think it's because the guys around me, honestly, they've allowed me to step into this role and have accepted me throughout the years. Obviously, it's been a little bit of a journey, had some ups and downs, but like the guys around me, like it's all organic. I don't say something I don't mean or say something that's not real. Like those guys really impact winning, impact my happiness on and off the court. Like those guys are really like my brothers, and it is what it is. I'm just speaking the truth, speaking from the heart. I don't try to like say it for leadership reason. It's just organic and what they deserve.
Shai, you're one of the most elite scorers in this league. Really become that the last 3 seasons. But with that, you've also stepped it up on the defensive end, averaging nearly 2 steals a game again this season, like you did last year. Just how do you bring the energy on the defensive end and sort of hang your hat on that end, in addition to being able to score the ball on the elite level?
Yeah. The type of player I want to be when it's all said and done plays both sides of the floor. My favorite players have always done that, and that is, to me, it comes with it. It comes with winning. It comes with championships. It comes with MVPs. It comes with All-Stars. It comes with being the best player you can be. It's 2 sides of the game, and I refuse to be a liability on one side, offense or defense.
We'll go 2 more. 1 and then 2. Go ahead. Back row first.
Thank you.
Yep, go ahead. Yep.
Also, I want to know what are those details that you guys need to improve to keep winning games and reach the goal for this year that hit the NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, we need to have like longer stretches where we play completely to our identity. Like sometimes we fray from it. And sometimes like making and missing affects that a little bit. I think now obviously that doesn't happen a lot, and our record says that, but I think that's like, I guess, the room for us to get better, for us to play the same way through makes and misses, and it'll only make us a better team, only make us harder to beat, because we'll continue to get good looks, we'll continue to get stops through shooting droughts, and ultimately that's what helps you win games, stacking possessions through shooting lulls, bad officiating, or whatever it is.
Last one. Go ahead.
Hi, Shai. You always bring standout style to the tunnel, and we are really excited to see how your creativity are gonna translate onto the court. And Jalen just told us that he has already seen what your signature shoe is gonna look like. So can you share just a little bit about what was the design, or maybe what kind of vibe are you trying to capture with your shoe?
Great question. I'm not going to give you the answer you want,
Just a sneak peek.
but I'm in love with the shoe. I can't wait for it to come out. And I hope the rest of the world loves it too.
They will definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You'll see it soon, I promise.
Thank you.
Great question, though.
So, a team that scrappy, is going to make a run at you at some point. But it seemed like you guys were, in some ways, almost ready for that, and were able to catch it and make sure that it didn't go beyond that. What was kind of feeling like amongst the team?
First off, Magic are a good, deep team. They have a really good roster. Even with 2 main guys hurt, they've been competitive a lot of games. They've won games that probably the outside world that doesn't watch them play thinks they should have lost. So that's a really good team. So we kind of knew a run was coming. We had made a big run going into half, where I think we're up 19. That's just the way basketball works. I think the average turnaround for a switch is 12 points. So just kind of keep him focused. We know we can make runs, and we know what we need to do to course correct. And we've kind of been in a lot of those situations. We've been the team that's been down 15, and we've obviously been the team that's been up. So just keeping that in mind and doing our best to kind of course correct in the game and keep competing.
Speaking, sorry, you got it.
Go ahead.
Gallo, then
Gallo, say your next
well,
question.
Gallo, then Joel.
You had that stretch of 6 straight in the fourth quarter, 3 straight possessions, kind of all attacking all the way to the rim. How did you stay present to get to that spot to be able to finish the way that you did at the rim?
I started trying to dunk the ball, and just sticking with it. Mark's been on me about going and putting pressure on the rim, something I'm really good at, just being 3 levels. I've been shooting the 3 in the mid-range so good, I've kind of I wouldn't even say moved away from it, but it's just another part of my game that I'm really good at. And obviously I'm trying to figure out the foul thing going on, but just trying to stick with it. And this is the part of the season where you really can work on things, and not shooting any free throws is a good playoff experience, because that's usually how it is.
You mentioned the whistle thing. I just wondered, I saw you talking to the crew league after the final buzzer sounded. Clearly, this was something Mark was arguing about the game too. How difficult is it to, kind of stay present as a driver, encourage yourself as a driver when, it's just kind of lingering thing going on with, your whistle?
I don't know. It's very frustrating. I also don't let that affect the rest of my game. I think I averaged 21 something points with no free throws, so it's almost encouraging in a way, because it's when I do get the whistle, when I am getting calls, obviously I can boost my numbers that way, but I'm very good at a lot of other things, so I try to do those in the meantime. And like I said, it's something I'm working on, and you can't let games like this where, and I'm going to avoid a fine, but games like this where I don't go to the line affect the overall trajectory of what I'm trying to do. We have so many games where I can do it, and just me, I'll even put the blame on myself. It's probably me trying to figure out how to get a whistle and still finishing through contact and doing that. But yeah, it's just a long process of stuff.
And Mark was just in here. He was saying, as soon as we asked him about it, he was saying, here's a stat. And we shot the same amount of free throws tonight.
Impressive, huh? I drove a lot more than Mark.
He agreed. And so I guess when you hear that, because Mark isn't usually that adamant about some of the things, what does that mean to you to have him going back for you the way he wants to go to the game or post game?
Yeah, we have a good relationship. I know I'm getting hit if Mark is saying something, because Mark usually encourages me to go in there and kind of get knocked out the air a little bit just to kind of practice it. So, and he's usually upfront with me when I'm not getting fouls. So I know that there is a big honesty piece to it. But again, there's a lot of other stuff going on the officials have to look at. So again, it's just one of those things where I gotta figure it out and keep doing what I'm doing, and just like I said, I know what my average is, so there's a lot of other things I can do on the court, and whenever that time comes, it comes. But usually a good indicator is if Shai doesn't get a foul that we think we should, I'm probably not gonna get one.
So you mentioned being good at a lot of different things. Coach was also singing your praises pregame, just about your versatility and the leap that you made, rookie to sophomore year to this year. You did score a season low 11 points tonight, but your impact on the court was pretty impressive despite the season low. Can you just talk about how different ways that you're able to sort of impact the game down the stretch, making plays for your team?
Yeah, I think I'm a very elite defender. We have a lot of elite defenders on our team, so anybody that's good at defense, I think our overall team defense kind of just gets grouped into that. But we have guys like AC, who's second team defender. He's on the defensive team. Lou should be on the defensive team. Queso should be on the defensive team. Chet's not playing. Hart's a smart defender. You know what I mean? So we have all these guys. Shai led the league in steals last year. So we have a lot of defensive components. So I try to be really elite at that. And then there's just other stuff you can rebound. There's a 95% rule in basketball. 95% of the time you don't have the ball. So what are you doing for that? It could be screening for somebody else. So I try to just expand my game regardless of scoring. Like I said, scoring is going to come come and go. Offense comes and goes. You're gonna have off nights. It's just a lot of other things that you can do to win the game, and I thought I was able to do that tonight.
Jalen, as you said, you impact the game in a different way in the court. Not many people give you the credit that you deserve. How do you prepare yourself to compete at this high level every night? In case like this tonight, that you guys have a back-to-back game tomorrow in Miami.
I really enjoy playing basketball, and I don't really play for people to talk good about me on social media or like the credits. We have a organization that works extremely hard for us to be successful, so there's a lot of motivation in that. And then I just love playing basketball. Like it could, Charles Barkley always says the thing about like we're not working the steel mill. So like this is like something that I grew up loving to do, and there's people that are like have like harder jobs than what we're doing. So it's something that I enjoy doing. Obviously, my brother's in the NBA now, so that makes it even more fun. But yeah, I just enjoy playing basketball, and I happen to be good at it.
Anybody else? We go last one here.
Hi, Jalen. Shai's signature shoe with Converse is set to release next year, and we all know how tight this Thunder team is in terms of its chemistry and camaraderie. So, what's the buzz like in the locker room? Are you excited about it? Have you seen any sneak peeks?
I actually have seen the shoe. Yeah, I saw the shoe a while ago. Extremely excited, well deserved. Obviously, Shai's a creative, and he's kind of like the guy in the fashion world. So, not many people have his signature shoe. Not many people can. What is he? The creative director for Converse? Yeah, like I'm very excited for him to kind of unveil that. He's worked really hard for it. So, yeah, I'm excited for the world to kind of see that. And it's a really good shoe. So, I'm excited for him.
That's awesome.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
Mark, you had talked about the kind of unprecedented nature of this road trip, and just curious about your response to the way that this team came out and performed tonight.
Yeah, we've been dealt an unprecedented hand, and we're trying to see that as a challenge. I thought our players from shoot-around today, the approach to the day was really, really high level and impressive. From the way we prepared to the way we started the game in the first half. And then obviously they got back in the game in the third. Credit them. They kept playing. We got a little loose, but then our ability to amp it back up in the fourth physically and with our force on offense was impressive in a very tough game to win for a lot of different reasons.
Mark, go ahead. Mark, even after the final buzzer sounded, Jalen was talking to the officiating crew. You were arguing on his behalf at times tonight. As he tries to become this certain level of creator and driver, like what are you telling him based on some of the things he's going through and the way he's being whistled or whatever comes with that?
Yeah, it was a very frustrating night from that standpoint. Here's a stat. Jalen Williams and I both shot the same amount of free throws tonight. We both shot 0 free throws. And all I did was I called a couple timeouts, called some ball plays, and clapped a couple times when we scored. And he was in the throat of the defense for 48 minutes. And we're encouraging him to be a downhill player. We're encouraging him to get his athleticism in the game. But that at some point, we're not asking for it to be rewarded. We're just asking for it to be met with, application of the rules the way that it would be for any other player. And, I can understand why he's frustrated because he's getting it, from us developmentally, trying to help him turn into this athletic force in the league. And he's really trying to do that. And it's being met with, tonight I thought there were multiple opportunities to go get those plays. So I was frustrated. And so was he.
And so with that, like throughout the season tonight, like what's your specific message to them?
To Dub, I just said it. We're encouraging him to be a complete player.
Coach, you guys shot over 93% from the free throw line. Speaking of free throw, how important is free throw during your practice and things of that nature?
Free throws are important. It's the most efficient shot that you can shoot in the game. It's more efficient than a three-point shot. It's more efficient than a rim shot in the NBA because those get contested. A trip to the free throw line is the most efficient thing you can do. And so that's a huge part of the game. That's why our focus on the free throw differential is so important because we're trying to become the best team we can be And when teams are shooting 6 more free throws than us every single night, that's something that we have to address. We're trying to do that. We're trying to control everything we can. That's why I'm talking about the developmental focus we've had with Jalen on the force he plays with and the contact he's drawing. And that's why I think you're seeing the level of frustration from him and certainly from me in the game, because we're really trying to encourage him to insert his athleticism into the game.
Probably to no one's surprise, but Shai comes back from Vegas and has a great game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, no, not my surprise. Certainly, you know, he's a total pro. I thought today was great leadership, you know, from the way that he approached shoot around to the way that he started the game. And then he really had it going tonight. Just great blend, great tempo, great mix of creation for himself and others. A very impressive game for him.
Mark, even without Shai, you guys continue dominating. How you can describe the chemistry of this team at this point of the season, and also coming from Vegas, from the Cup, now here in Orlando, and you guys have back-to-back games tomorrow in Miami. How do you guys prepare yourselves to be as healthy as possible to compete at these high levels in back-to-back games?
Yeah, like I said, unprecedented hand we've been dealt with. You know, basically a West Coast road trip for 6 days. Today's day 7 on the road for us, and we traveled 3 time zones, 4 hours to play 3 games in 4 nights in 3 different cities. So that's the hand. We're trying to play it. I thought the guys did a great job of playing it tonight. You know, starting, like I said, at shoot around, you know, to just kind of cleanse ourselves from that whole situation and get ourselves back to 0 today. And, you know, playing a rested team at home that's incredibly feisty and that has proven that they can compete with anybody regardless of their injuries. Credit to them, by the way. They've done a great job, you know, staying stable during this stretch of time. But our guys had a great response tonight.
Mark Caruso only played 17 minutes, but he's still like diving on the floor with a minute left and a 10-point lead. Like, how valuable is it to have someone who's competitive like that, even when maybe the minutes aren't going the way other guys would want it? And do you remember maybe a time when that stood out to you when you first had him down at the Elite level?
Well, I'll tell you a time that it stood out to me tonight is, you know, he played the 17 minutes. I had him up at the table with Case and Wallace, and we got it going. You know, we had a little run, and they called timeout, and he immediately turns to me and said, "Why don't we just roll with these guys?" And Kaysen was probably like, "What the heck?" You know, Kaysen's fighting him in the locker room right now. But he's just all team. You know, he always has been. He's unbelievably present as a competitor. There's never a time in the game where his feet aren't on the ground and he's not focused on the moment of the game, and he's always inside the team. And I think over the course of a long game, a lot of possessions, 82-game season, that value compounds, you know, for the teams that he plays on, and it's compounding for us right now.
Yeah, I got one for you, Coach. You just mentioned about Shai's leadership. Can you talk about his evolution as a leader from last year to this year?
It's not his evolution for anything. Leadership, his game, you know, is not last year to this year. It's just been a continuous, you know, incline over a period of time. His consistency with that has been the most impressive thing. We always say the leader is the person doing the right thing, and he, you know, is always in character on that. He's a great worker. He wants to win, and he plays inside the team. And I've said this many times before, but he allows his ascension has not gotten in the way of other players' ascension. So I'm talking a lot about Jalen tonight. Jalen is rising as a player in the NBA. And Shai's presence is not interrupting that. You know, they're ascending alongside each other. You know, Wiggins had a great night tonight. He'd taken a couple low-minute games, and he played a great game tonight. And guys like him or Isaiah Joe, Kenrich Williams, role players, Caruso and Hartenstein coming in here, Shai's ascension, you know, does not interrupt their ability to impact the team. And I think that's the sign of not only a great talent, but a great overall player.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Anybody else? Thank you,
Good.
Coach.
All right. Thanks.
Players.